Hey, welcome back. So we're getting ready to continue. It's Ottoman's turn. 3 cubes have been spent. I think the hardest part about this is, I think it's really fun having 11 bots on the board because the interaction between them is going to be extremely interesting to see how it transpires. The hardest part is keeping track of, okay, you have rebels, you don't, like in this case, I got to remember he's at war. So he would not draw. I'm going to put the war token down here. He's going to siege, is what I'm trying to say. So that'll spend two cubes because it takes 2 cubes to siege Constantinople, and he's done. Now we move on to Mr. France. He is going to do diplomacy for 3 cubes. And the diplomacy is looking for where does he have 2 cubes on the board. And it's right here, and it's Provence, or however you pronounce it. So he has 2 cubes and an alliance, and I'm pretty sure he's going to try to annex him. So Provence has that's a 2, and up here is a 3. And sometimes, if you're not sure, because like they get really weird sometimes, you can look here and it'll tell you how big their empire is. So you can see it's 3 ducats, which means it's just 3 strength. The one that really gets you, not to get sidetracked here, but look at this. That's Genoa, way over here. See, Genoa is here, but they got a little province all the way over here. So that's not you can't fully annex them unless you take that. And that's brutal because the game rules are unless you fully annex them, you got to give the capital back. So you can never take Genoa from Genoa. So I actually, in fact, played that wrong in a previous game, not one that I did online, but with my son. Sorry, I realized in explaining this to you that so I took a screenshot from Snippet here to send to my son because I fully annexed Genoa. I was playing as the Papal States, and I took over everything in central Italy, and then I took Genoa, thinking it was just these 2 provinces, and it's not. Now you could do it diplomatically, because then you'll get this diplomatically. It just counts as a 4 tax nation, but I think I did it militarily, if I remember correctly. But anyways, it's not important for this discussion. France is very likely going to annex them. Let's just make sure. These flowcharts, like I feel like I understand what they're going to do, but so they don't have a marriage, but they do have an alliance. And then do they have double the tax base? So yes. Do they have cubes equal to the tax base plus? Actually, we got to check. I know they have 2 here, but they don't have 1 more, right? So they need 3 cubes. So the answer is no. And then they're going to select them. Are there free space? Yes. They're going to add 2 more cubes. Whoops. So grab 2 cubes, and they can put it here. They can also put it up here, but they'll put it here. So now they got 4 cubes on them. Alliance is, can they enter a royal marriage? They're going to roll a die. Yeah, see, this is getting very different than what I thought it was going to be. So they rolled a 4. And so, yes, they're putting a marriage on the capital. And this is a done deal. They're going to get annexed next time. Otherwise, they would have put 2 more cubes on, then did some nonsense where they went to the diplomatic chart and then went and, did something else. I mean, it's a little crazy. But anyways, they're done. Castile here. I never did look at these, by the way. This is a new one. This one here. I think you can recognize the new ones. I thought there was a symbol. I don't know if the red means something. Like that red might mean that it's from the Defying Destiny. I thought there was an easy way to do it, or that red could mean something else. I don't know. I just know this is not a great one. So only Denmark has something out at the moment. This one we don't want. That's going to make our leaders get sick. But anyways, getting back to this guy. All 9 cubes are still available. That's right, because he was the Curia controller. Oh, he's doing military. All right, let's roll for claims. He rolled a 2. He has claim 1 out here. All right, so that means we roll again. So on the military chart, a 4 takes him to realm in Andalusia. Andalusia is, yeah, this one. So it's Granada. And since there's already a claim here, he declares war on Granada. So if there wasn't one, he would just put a claim there and then move on. But there is already a claim here. So he spends 1 cube, recruits 4, declares war, and then it checks to see if there's a naval combat, which technically there is. So Granada has, as you can see, this port is in this sea zone and this one. And there's Spanish ships in both. The problem is they have to have enough hits to overcome the Spanish or the Castilian. So they got 1 port here, right? So they have to overcome the number of hits for this port. This is a large port, so they got 2 more. And then Galicia has another one, so there's 3 in this sea zone. And then in this sea zone, they actually only have, is that 1 or is that a large port for 2? Sometimes it's hard to tell. I wish the larger ports were, like Seville definitely has a large port. But like the size of the circles aren't that much different. Here. Valencia has a large port. Yeah, I'm going to say that's not a large. All right, so what does this mean? We went through this already. But in the sea, where it's bot versus NPR, they roll 1 artillery die per ship. And remember, their ship is the number of ports they have that are facing that sea zone, which I believe is just 1. So anyways, they roll. The bot does not roll. They score 1 hit per cannon result. The bot loses its ship only if the rolls are 2 plus the number of ports. So they got to have at least 2 hits plus all the ports. So just having this 1 port here means they need 3 hits. And here you can see they're going to get 1 roll. And they can't get 3 hits out of 1 roll, is what I'm trying to get at. So the NPR is going to do nothing. I mean, technically there is naval combat, though. It's not inconclusive. It's like a pointless naval combat. So we come here and they did the declare war, and then they go through all this nonsense. Did it trigger a naval battle? So then, does it trigger a land battle? No. Is the army size greater than double? Yes. Army map on the board? No. They're going to place it. Does it trigger a battle? No. And then they're going to go to a hostile and engage. So they're doing all this all in 1 turn. So they would place it here, and then they would march into here. And this is a strength of 2. So 1, 2. And those are misses. So not even a single life lost. And Granada is under siege. What I really need to do is make tokens that I can put on here to say that he's going to siege next turn. Because by the time I take 11 other bot actions and come back, I forget. I forget what they were doing. That's one of the drawbacks. Right now it's to us, and I've been so busy. I haven't even been thinking about us. There's one thing I may have said in the last video I do need to clarify. I said we could maybe diplomatically control everything. That's not true. For Scotland, yes, there's 4 provinces here controlled by Scotland, and I can maybe grab them all. The problem is I need to have enough cubes equal to their tax base, and 2 of those cubes are France. And I can only add 1 more for 3. Then I would have to have a marriage to get the 4th one. That's really hard to do. Oh, and then these tokens I forgot to put out. So it's really hard to do. I mean, I can definitely make them my ally, but in order to vassalize them through a subjugate card, I need to have 4 cubes. I don't know if a subjugate card came out yet. Yeah, we haven't seen one yet. But that's how I believe those work. Now, this is a really beautiful card, though. I get to remove 2 cubes from someone else and then add 2 of my own. That's where this card actually does become very valuable, because I get rid of the 2 French ones. Now it's real easy for me to get 4 cubes on there. So it's expensive, but it's actually very, very helpful. And then it says, if you and target NPR are both at peace and you now have the most cubes, you gain an alliance as well, which of course is the whole goal of this, but it's a beautiful card for that reason. Now, I don't have 4 cubes, so I can do a focus action where I'm going to spend 1 and 1 and do that. And that's my whole action. Now, with my focus action, I could discard 2 cards to get something from the discard pile. But right now, I mean, that one was a handy card for me. I like it more than this one, for example. But this increased ability is pretty good. And also, this one, I think, is the one I'm going to make my advisor. I could make this guy my advisor, but he's expensive. I do get 16 tax. I mean, 16 money is a good bit of money. I mean, this is only costing me 3. This would be 4 more for 7, but I do have to pay for my army. And then the other thing is this here. If I get everything deployed, I can gain a claim or an alliance in Ireland and a claim or 2 cubes in Scotland. And it's an and. I can do both. So if I were to just hire my troops, I mean, it's going to cost me 12 ducats to do this. I can add those 2 cubes in Scotland, which can be helpful. The claim in Ireland is the one that I want, though. And this is getting to what I was telling you I was wrong about. I could diplomatically annex Ireland as well, but these are 3 different nations. So I need subjugate card 1, subjugate card 2, subjugate card 3. I need 3 subjugate cards just to pull this off. I need 2 subjugate cards to pull this off. The reason this one requires 2 is because you need 1 to vassalize them and then another one to annex them. These 3, you don't need to vassalize. Since they're single province nations, you can annex them directly. But you got to have an alliance with each one. Alliances are fairly easy to do. You can obtain one through diplomacy right here. So you spend 1 cube, you form an alliance, and then you play your subjugate card and you annex them. It does require 2 cubes in the area. So there's a little bit of work you got to do. But anyways, that's the reason why this card is usually not that helpful. But in this case it is. Because we have the French cubes there. All right, my turn's over. Let's go to Saxony here. There's nothing to convert, but they're going to do Papal Curia. And they're going to cause one of these to be discarded. And with the new rules for 12 players, it just goes on the end. Oh, I'm sorry. it technically, it shifts everything down. So it goes there. And they only kill one if it's full. And we're making it so there's room for 12, since there's so many extra nations in this game. All right, next up is Persia. They can't do Papocuria, so they're going to spy. They're going to spend 2 and discard an admin. All right, now who are they going to go after? I got to roll. They rolled a 2. So when they're choosing who they're going after, they're going for highest points, which is me, Mario. So they come in and they're going to flip 2 of my provinces. All right, now we got Morocco. They're going to focus politics. Look at that. They completed it already. They cause discard to come up. All right, well, so these 2 go back into their pool. And then they actually gain, well, not a claim. They gain a little chit here on politics, which I went too far. So they're taking politics is the blue one. They took dynastic ties, and they score 5 points. Where were they whenever the spy action was in place? So yeah, they need to have 2 royal marriages in play and 4 cubes in those 2 realms, and of course they get to ignore all that. I do have the ability to discover new continents, so I probably should try to get 5 points for that, but I'm sort of trying to get new territory at the moment. All right, and then Denmark. No conversion. Instead, they're going to focus war. Oh, they completed one. So we played where the heck are their things? Yeah, it's there. So we did a full age playthrough where I was playing the Teutonic Knights. It's recorded here on the channel, and they weren't taking these. And I kept talking about how they take these. And look at this. We're in the second turn of round 1, and 2 of them are already claimed. And look, they already claimed an idea as well. It's really crazy, but we are playing with a lot more bots, and so maybe that's the difference maker. The Mamluks. Military. Oh. So they do have an alliance, but they don't have any claims that I'm aware of. A 6, and the Mamluk bot with a 6 is going after Yemen. Yemen, the Jamaican. Yemen. Oh, I think it's actually on the new board, isn't it? Yeah, right here. All right, well, it's real difficult to deal with the new board sometimes, but are they on this one? Like, we could use this, right? So both this and Hijaz are covered, and then you got Yemen there. I do like that aspect, right? The problem is if you use this, then if you'll notice here, obviously this goes away. You don't need this. But the Africa side, they only have to here. all this is missing. And then when you get here, all of the Australia is missing. So most of the New World exploration is gone. So that's why I still insist on using these older style stuff. But anyways, not to get sidetracked, which I have been doing often here, we're going to put a claim that I'm not going to remember I put right there. So claim 1 is on them. All right, Austria. Diplomacy. Now this should yield something. So here you could see why do they have an alliance with Persia? Persia's way down here. That's a Persian flag. Did I screw up? I did, look. None of those are green. Those are the right color. Well, shoot. Where are you at? Okay. So I have one other color here, pink. Did I get theirs right? Yeah, look at that, pink. All right, well, so the way this works is the top image, you hit Control C, and then you paste it in, and you get this, right? So I copy that image, and then I open up Paint, and I just paste it in. And then I switch to the brush, and this is supposed to be green, right? And then I just paint green. That's literally all I have to do. And then I say Save As. I'm going to do a PNG. And I'm going to go up to Assets. And let's see, we had Alliance. Yeah, Alliance. Oh, look at that. I already have green. So I don't need to read. So all this paint stuff I just showed you was nonsense. So all I did is I just have the wrong asset. So I click on Alliance and I say green. And then Cloud, Upload, Import. It says there's 7 of them, so I can't do all 7. And then let's look at the other side. Yeah, the other side's wrong as well. I could have done both of these at once, by the way. Then do the green back. Import. And then boom. And then I'm going to clone, clone, clone. And then these 3. You can't hit delete because the game gets screwy. So I'm just going to throw them in a bag. But there we go. So the alliances are now green. Now there's one more problem because I uploaded so the best way to fix it is I'm just going to pull in a fresh saved object, the green player, right? And then inside of the bag is the alliance. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 of the junk, right? So I'm going to clone 1, 2, 3, 4. Put these 4 in there. And then put this back in the green bag. And like I said, just toss those. And then I'm going to save the object. Green player. Overwrite. Boom. Now the mistake is fixed. I did upload it to the Discord incorrectly, so I do have to fix that. And I'm going to pause and do that right now. Okay, it is done. So all that work, I know. My apologies. So now we're doing an alliance, and here you can see. So they're going to try to ally with Bavaria here. So the capital is München. And so we're going to grab an alliance, put it on there, and then they get another cube that they place out here. And you may have noticed, but it was these white ones that I used as my basis for creating the other ones. And you always want to choose Austria, by the way, especially if you're modifying, because these images with the white background are easiest to change color. If you choose some other color like red, and then you try to change the red to a different color, you end up getting polka dots because of the green. Like, it'll be really grainy. Anyways, just lesson learned: always choose the white background because it's you don't get the polka dot effect. It has to do with pixels and how the pixels, and like when you use a paint function, it doesn't paint everything because there's just these little bits, itty bitty pixels that are slightly off. Anyways, getting to Poland, they're going to focus war. And I just got to make sure no one's actually at war, because that would change their thing. And then Muscovy. They're doing eco. All right, so we did another round. Well, we did another cycle. I should not use the word round. So we get to here, and the Ottomans have 5 and 5. So they are going to draw one. Well, they're at war, but they're still going to draw another card. And this time they're doing focus. Well, they might do unrest. So they have unrest. I mean, technically they do here. So they can, they're going to remove the unrest. Now, what you're supposed to do is put occupied on it. So that way, even with the unrest removed, the occupied still shows that they don't own it yet. And then a military card gets discarded. All right, and then we move on to France. And I'm going to pause real quick. Okay, so we're on France here. There's no conversion necessary, so they're going to focus eco. Done. Castile is at war. I almost forgot, but they are at war. And so they're going to spend 2 cubes, if I remember correctly, to put out 2 towns. Here and here. And again, we get a little lazy, my son and I, but you put occupied tokens on them. Now it's back to us, and we are going to spend this new alliance card. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, along with 1, 2, 3 monies. And it says we remove 2 cubes. This is the key critical element. We get rid of both of France's cubes. And then we add 2 of our own. So we're up to 4. And we put an alliance on. So the key thing here is, now I just need a subjugate card. I'll spend the 4 cubes, because this is a 4 tax area, and I'll vassalize them. Then I think I have to put 4 cubes back again. and then I can annex them. So it takes 2 iterations, but I can do it. I just need a subjugate card now. From here out, I can focus on Ireland and other things. I don't think there's anything else I can do. Getting France kicked out of there was important, because they very likely won't be putting more cubes here. They do have an alliance, though, so if they draw a diplomacy, they could come back up here. But since I have 4 cubes, they can only ever put 1. And that 1, I mean, it could hurt me, but we just got to hope that it works out. All right, Saxony. They're doing a diplomacy, a very expensive one. I do think they have 2 cubes somewhere. Oh, they put it on Austria. Well, they're not annexing Austria, so that's not happening. Let's see what they do. Is Austria an adjacent bot? They're not. That was a key thing. So the answer is no. And that's also not adjacent, so no. On any NPR with less than 2 cubes, no. They're going to do diplomatic chart. So let's roll a die for them. We rolled a 1. And on their diplomatic chart, they're doing this, which I think is Prussia. That's military. France. Why on earth would they go after France? But that's what they're doing. All right, is there an alliance? No. Any free space in target areas? Well, of course. This is really bizarre that they're doing this. Added 2. Is an alliance possible? I guess yes. So they're doing an alliance with France. I mean, they just did one with Austria, so I guess they're just going around their world tour to make sure they have an alliance with all the big nations, so nobody will beat them up. I guess that's fair. All right, next up is Persia. They're going to focus politics, and that's going to require a Diplo card. Gone. And they're done. And now we have the Moroccans. Naval is an interesting one. So what they're going to do is they're going to put out a ship, and it has to be somewhere where they have ports. So all their ports have, these 2 ports have a ship, but see, this port also connects to the western, so they need a ship over here as well, because this port sort of hugs both. So they're putting a ship here for sure. And then they check for pirates. There aren't any. So now they're going to draw 1 and only 1 trade card. And they initiate trade. So English Channel, this is great for us. We get to do it. And for us doing it, they're going to score 2 points. Where are they at? They are up here in the lead, in fact. They're scoring 2 points for that. And so, yeah, so do we have London? Yes. Do we have Essex or York? Yes. The only one we don't have is Antwerpen. So English Channel has 1, 2, 3 power just from the ships alone. Right, so we have 3 power just from the ships alone, and the merchant. And then what this is saying is London is 4, Essex is 5, and York is 6. So we hit the 6 mark. So that means we get 11 ducats. This was huge for us. So 10, 11 ducats. I am very happy. Now Saxony is another one, and we don't have to count trade power for these other guys. So Saxony should be, yeah, of course, Saxon. And the Austrians can also use it because they're next to it. So both of these are going to get 2 cubes. That's helpful because otherwise they were getting on the verge of passing, although that one may still pass. All right, and then the last one is Maghreb or Genoa. So Maghreb, of course, is themselves. So they are going to give themselves 2 cubes. And I'm never clear on whether they use Genoa or not. Because Genoa is on there as an alternative. Let me check. Okay, so the solo rulebook just simply says that they collect their trade. It makes no mention of primary versus secondary trade node. None. But here in the secondary trade node section, it says that the active player can do the secondary trade node. No other player gets any income from the secondary node. Selecting a secondary node also triggers trade income from the associated primary node for all players. So basically, at the end of the day, the Moroccans are the ones that triggered the action, and only the Moroccans can use the Genoa trade node. That's the way. So it's only the active player that gets to do this. So that means that the bots don't get to use the secondary here for Maghreb. That makes sense. Now, it's funny because the Moroccans could have used Genoa, but they didn't need to. All right, well, that actually became very lucrative for us. All right, now we go to the Dutch, who still have a ton of cubes left, and they do another focus. This time expansion, and they're getting rid of a admin card. Next, we get to the Mamluks. They are doing focus, politics. They're getting rid of Diplo. Now, I've been getting a lot of anxiety here because they keep getting rid of Diplo cards, and we need see, study technology, new alliance, shady business. None of them have been the card that we're looking for. So they're actually doing us a favor. They've discarded a lot of cards here that we would have had to draw on our turn and been disappointed to get the wrong card. Anyways, their turn is over. And now we got Austria here. They don't have any unrest that I'm aware of. They get focus expansion. And they're getting rid of one of these. And then we have Muscovy. I don't think they have unrest, but they'll do spy. Then we're going to roll the die. A 1, 2, or 3 is the highest points. Let's make sure they don't have any unrest. The highest points is orange. So they're coming in and get the highest tax province. And they're flipping 2. All right, now it's back to the Ottomans, who still have as many cubes. They're going to draw again. They drew unrest, but I don't think they have any. And now they're going to... Oh, I'm sorry, they're at war. And at war, they're going to do the spy action. Now, they would do the spy action on who they're at war with, but it's an NPR. So I actually don't know how that's going to work It may work just the same as every other spy action. Let's check. Are they at war? I mean, technically it's yes, but the opponent is an NPR, so that doesn't work. So then, right here, are they at war with an NPR? The answer is yes, so they're going to military. Okay, that's what I wanted to check. So the military is saving their bacon, because now they're going to do their check, and they're going to move one province down to here, and they're going to war against these two. So this is a strength 2 check. I'll move that back over to there. So they're going up against 2. They lose one more unit, but they win, and when they win, they get a cube. And I forgot to do that with, who else is at war? Spain. They were supposed to get a cube when they did what they did. You always get a cube if you win a battle that you initiated. France here. Another diplomacy. So this one, and there it is. So I already used my focus, but that's the one I wanted, and I can't get it out of the discard pile. So that was the last opportunity. But they're annexing province. So they're going to get rid of 1, 2, 3 cubes. And their royal marriage and whatnot goes away. They put out a big city and a little one. So France just got more powerful. All right, Castile. They've already sieged. They're going to do the unrest action to flip those. So they're done, and now it's to us. I would have loved to pull this out, but we already did our focus doohickey. We just got a whole bunch of money, so I'm going to levy the troops. We're going to do this, and basically, I'm bringing all these in. So, do I want to just have a bunch of infantry? Great question. I can't do artillery yet. I can at least do 1 cavalry. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10 ducats. And then the cavalry itself is 5 more. That's why I'm having hesitation here. But sure, I'll do it. All right, so I got my full army, and that's going to be expensive for me between the rounds. But by doing so, I levied all the troops. I score 1 point. And then it says I can gain a claim or an alliance in Ireland. I'm going to put the claim in Ireland. And this claim is not on a specific nation, so I can use it to declare war on all of them, if I so choose. And then a claim or 2 cubes in Scotland. And I'm currently at 4, but I'm going to go ahead and at least put the 5th one in Scotland, because that prevents France from putting any. It would have been nice to subjugate first before this happened, because that would have been a nice free way to get 2 cubes out here, but it is what it is. I at least got 1. And then it says this unlocks card 2A. So we search, we grab 2A, and this is just yet another card that we can't add it to our arsenal until later, and then this is technically done, resolved. Now, instead of doing that, I could actually have gone for the discover new continents. let me think about this, because that actually might have been a better move. So let's put the 15 ducats back, and then put all 6 of these back. I'll take this back. I'm going to take this back. And this. The advantage to doing what I'm doing is I can easily march 1, 2, conquer all this. I don't have a lot of cubes, so I couldn't do that this round anyways, right? So let's just wait, because like I said, I want to use the subjugate card and then put 2 free ones out. So instead, I want to do the Admiralty. So I need to have 2 heavy ships and 4 light ships. This one doesn't come out yet. So that would be, instead of doing that, I'm doing a, well, it still would have been a military cube. I'm doing a recruit. In fact, I could do both. I can get ships and troops, but I don't have enough money to do both. So let's do the Admiralty instead. So here you can see heavy ships are a massive 10 ducats each, but the light ships are only 4. I don't know if I can pull this off. I mean, 10 ducats each. I only have 20 ducats. But let's say that that's what I want to do. So I'm going to do 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I take 2 of these and put them in the heavy ships. And I basically have a navy, which I'm going to put somewhere. I don't know where the best place to put it would be, but let's say I put it in the English Channel for now. But I want to put it somewhere where, in case somebody attacks me, I mean, if I put it up here, I'm going to have Scottish ships attacking me. But anyways, we're at least good for now. So then I'm looking at possibly going into debt at 4 ducats per ship, light ship. So let's say I want to go into debt twice. That would be, which one? Where's the debt one? This guy. So I get 5 ducats for each debt token. So that's giving me 10 ducats. And so I'm going to buy 2 light ships with it. And one of them, or I'm going to do both of them in North America. Well, they're both B, but I guess I could move 2 spaces, right? Or no, I don't get to move them. I just get to place them. So I would place 1 here, and I'm going to do a 3rd one, or I'm going to do 1 here at Dogger Bank. And that's the reason why I want to put my fleet here, because I don't want Scotland sinking him. So this one gives me North Sea and English Channel. These 2 just give me English Channel. So to get this guy, get these guys here, I need to do a move action, which I can do. I have to leave 1 ship here, just for the purposes of being able to chain to the New World. I mean, I actually think that the Eastern... So this is safer, because it's away from being attacked. But to be quite honest, I want to come through A. So that way I have North Sea presence. I want 3 merchants. English Channel, North Sea, and North America eventually. But that's a lot of money spent. And I have to have 4 light ships, which I do. I have, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 light ships. I bought one more than necessary. So I still did a quest. It's still 1 point, so I don't need to change this. But this time I get 2 cubes here, which I'm happy to take, and appoint either an advisor or an admiral for free from your hand. So this is the interesting one. I'm actually still going to just do this one. So we're going to appoint that advisor for free. I don't have to pay the 2 ducats for him. Now, by doing what I did, I am in debt, which is not cool. But I still think that this is a great move. And then I unlock 2B and 2D. So 2B is Maritime Empire and Settle in America. So I have these now available to me, but I can't grab one until we're between rounds. All right. Now we're on Saxony, and you can see they have spent more cubes than they have, so they're going to try to pass. So they got to do an event. They are the first to do an event. They rolled a 5, which is they're going to want to do their own event, which is not out there. And absent that, they're going to do the plague. Everything else moves down. There's your new card. Okay, so who is this? This is Saxony. They're picking an area with their town and another area adjacent. For every 2 ducats on this event, place and an area adjacent to the previous one. All players must remove half their units as casualties, rounded up, reduce a large in one of these areas to a small, just one. And then provinces and areas with the plague token get half tax income rounded down. Now, if this is the only thing that affects me, is I'm going to lose plus sign. And I have no plus sign, so I'm good there. This is going to put out a pirate, and they get to choose because it's their event, and they're going to put the pirate as far away as they can, all the way down there. All right, next one. This is the part that is going to be interesting. So yes, they're going to put a plague out, and it has to be their area, and they're a tiny little nation, so it's impacting all 3. But then they put it somewhere adjacent, and it doesn't matter. There's no towns impacted elsewhere. The other thing is that the plague they don't get tax income. So it does cause them to lose their troops, though. Half of their troops rounded up. So their final troop is sent back to to there. And they only had 2 anyways, so it is what it is. So this wasn't very impactful. If they were next to me, I would have been in big trouble. If they were next to France, they could have devastated these big towns, right? Only one of them, but still. They're technically not next to anybody, so they weren't able to hurt anybody. If there was money on the card, they would have been able to go another town out, and then they would have gotten either France or Austria or even Denmark, but it didn't work out that way. So there it is. First event's done. It was mostly uneventful. This little token is not really going to harm anything for them. All right, next up, Persia still hasn't spent more than it has, so they're going to convert. They're going to do Papal Curia. What on earth? I think they're just going to spend 2 cubes and get 2 points. Well, let me make sure, because convert Muslim, right here. diverse faiths. They don't control the areas, so they can't change this one. So yeah, they're just going to get 2 points. All right, Morocco. They do have unrest. So they're going to flip. Looks like the Mamluks still get another action. Oh, they're doing military. Let's roll. They rolled a 6, which is not that claim. I don't think they have any other claims. They rolled a 6 again, which is Yemen. So yes, they're declaring war. They just declared war on Yemen. Then they would spend a cube to do this, and they would march in and do battle. And I believe it's just a size 1 town. No damage. They do get a cube for winning. Austria. They can't convert, so they're going to focus eco. Poland. Oh, military is always interesting for them. I don't think they have any claims out here. It's that 4. A realm in Prussia. So they're specifically targeting a realm. That doesn't matter. There's only one realm there anyways. So they're going after the Teutonic Order. And then Muscovy. Going to spy. I think they did that last time too. Commercial growth is a nice one to get. Okay, so they just did spy. Let's roll. They're going after highest tax base, which is going to be France, because France just acquired a bunch of stuff. So flippity flip for France. Ottomans. They're at war, and they still have 4 cubes, so they're going to keep going. Oh, they're going to siege. And this time around, it's not working out for Constantinople. Usually, they don't get... Are we really out of occupied tokens already? Usually they don't get enough war cards that they move and do this extra action, but they did this time. So they're gonna fully annex the Byzantines here. They're done. Okay, France spent more than they have. They're going to do an event. A 6 is they're going to do their own event, which is not on here, and otherwise they do the leftmost one. Everything moves down. Next card, Unhappy Peasants. I mean, look, there's still 5 cards buried here, even though we have 6 of them revealed. Like, my card could still be out here. So could France's. There's a part of me that thinks I should be revealing even more. But anyways, they're choosing this one. And they're going to choose B, secure the duchy. So Denmark can replace their vassals with a town on Schleswig and must remove their vassal, if any, from Holstein. And you gain 1. Now this is interesting. So France is the U, so they're getting 1. The Butts never have vassals, but I'm going to assume that they lose Holstein. So I'm taking this one off, and then they just lose it. Fair enough. All right, that was the easy one to resolve. Now we're to Castile. They are at war. They're going to focus war. Back to us. We need to do an explore action. And the explore action, I think, lets us do a move ship. That's why I gotta, let's make sure. Otherwise, I gotta do a move ship action first. I also need to do a trade action, but let's get to the actions here. If you have Quest for the New World, you may move 1 light ship into a sea zone in one of the distant continents, and then roll the exploration die. So we're going to do exactly that. So explore costs us a cube from each. We're going to move one of these light ships. They're in the B zone, so it's going to come into the B zone, which you can do either one. So I'm going to choose this one up here first. And then we get to roll this die. I rolled a 1, which is perfect. That lets me put a claim on any of these number 1s in this C zone, which is New England or Virginia. So let's be thematic. We're going to go right into Virginia, just like old days. And then I did this quest here, discover new continents. Place a claim by performing a successful explorer action, which I just did. So I just scored 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be a victim of spy actions again. And I gained 2 diplomacy cubes, which I will gladly take. All right, that was my action. And, okay, what does exploring do? I have a claim. Now, in between rounds, and only in between rounds, it's going to start generating colonists. I need 4 of them to settle, but I could also spend admin cubes instead of colonists. So I could spend 4 admin cubes if I wanted. So the colonists help reduce the number of cubes you have to spend, and you get 1 colonist per claim, maximum of 4. So you can't like put 12 claims out here and get 12 colonists, but you'll at least get 4 in between each round. So the ideal thing is you want to get 4 claims out here, start maximizing your colonists, and then, you know, start settling after. All right, Saxony, still going to pass, and they will, and that'll get them 2 cubes. They're done. Persia, I don't think they're at war, so they're gonna do, let's check. Yeah, they're gonna do their event. So let's roll. They want to do their own. They can't, so they're going to do the leftmost one. And everything else shifts down. The money is really, well, yeah, because Everything that wasn't selected, getting 2 more coins on it. This was a new one though, so this one comes off. No? Well, yeah, because it was here and then it shifted to here, so it's going to get 2 coins. Everybody else got new ones. And then the next card is mine. So there you go, War of the Roses. Okay, Scandal at the Curia. Oh, by the way, we forgot to do this one, and that was Saxony. Saxony gets to kill a cardinal, basically. And so they always just kill the rightmost one that doesn't belong to them. And so they're getting rid of this one. Okay. All player realms with 1 or more cardinals must choose. And all the bots choose A. They're going to lose 1 cardinal. Or you could choose B and pay 5 ducats and 1 Diplo cube to gain a cardinal in an open spot. You may then, if your player realm is Catholic, either gain 1 Diplo cube or 1 to 2 cardinals in open slots by paying 1 and 2 per cardinal. All right, so that's a lot to say, but basically all the bots are choosing to lose 1. I am also going to choose to lose 1. So there's only 1 cardinal left. Now the problem is that the bots can choose to gain 1, or they always choose the first one, so everybody's just gaining a cube. So basically everybody's gaining the cube that they lost. So Poland gets their cube. I am going to get it as an admin cube. France, Austria, Castile. So everybody's getting cubes, and the only one left is Saxony. That's pretty wild. So we have to do Native Uprising, which is going to be a problem for me. So Native Uprising, each player loses 1 colonist from the colonist pool and gains unrest in a distant town. I don't have a town, so I just have a claim, so I'm good. Okay, so that's fine. That was Persia. Moving on to Morocco. They're going to do military. Interesting. I'm going to roll a die. I don't think they have any claims out there. Nope. They just rolled a 4, which is a realm in Algiers. So it would be either Tunis or Oran or Tlemcen. I mean, Tunis is the bigger realm. That one has a capital, though, so they're going to choose the one with the capital. So they'll choose that one. Okay, their turn's over. They haven't even spent a cube yet. Excuse me, and they're still not spending a cube. They're spending 1 for eco. They're going to start passing. So a 6 would be their own. Otherwise, they do the first one. Everything moves down. I gotta think about this because I'm doing this wrong. So if this moves to here, it had this many, now it has this, right? If this is moving to here, it had this many, now it has this. The problem is I don't know if they had that many, because see, look, this one's going to move here, and it only has 4. So this one should only ever have 6, and then these two would have the 8. And then this one's going to have 2. There, that makes more sense. All right, that's the Saxony one, and they already passed. So this is the part where it gets rough. I already have 6 of them being visible. I mean, I could do 3 more, I guess. So let's say you had a 6-player game. We're revealing 3 of them. So it's literally half. In a 7-player game, it's still revealing only 3 of them. Well, actually, we would reveal 3 and then have 4 in here. In a 7-player game, we're still only revealing 3, and we'd have 5 in there. So this is a 12-player game. We're revealing 6, and we have 7 in here. I need to reveal more, I think. Because them not picking their own event it's sort of a crime. I do think I have to reveal probably 3 more. I have to reveal 9 out of the 12. So I'd have, well, actually 9 out of 13. So 4 of them would be in the pile. Maybe if I reduce that to 8, then I'd have 5 in the pile, which is no worse than the 7-player game. But then, like, what do I do with the money? Because you can see, like, the money's accumulating really fast because there's so many cards that aren't getting chosen. I think I need to go back to only the 3 on the left accumulate money. Or the 3 on the left accumulate 2, but everything that's not on the left get 1. I think that's more fair. They get 1 coin instead of 2 until they get into these 3 spots, and then they start accumulating 2. That's fair. These are all problems you don't have because the rules don't address a 12-player game. But I do think that if we had more of these revealed, the Saxons would have picked their own. Because like right here, Saxony may replace one of their towns, looks like with a DNPR and a marriage to remove all their unrest and gain 1 stability. That's pretty wild. All-out war. Saxony loses a stability, must add 2 rebels in Saxony and gains a claim in Bohemia, and you gain 1. And they already passed, so this is going to be horrible for them. Oh, that's not a good event for them in general. But yeah, that's very, very wild. Like this one, I at least have a chance. All right, what am I doing here? That was, oh, pink. They chose this one. So they lose a cube but gain a cube. No difference. They're choosing A. They're going to ally with the Tatars. You may gain an alliance with either Crimea or the Great Horde if you have cubes in an area of the chosen realm. Well, this happens to be pink, which is the Mamluks, so they don't have Crimea. They don't have either. They're close. So if it doesn't benefit them, they gain a cube. So they will do that. And then this here is anybody that's at war loses, has attrition. So these guys are at war. They lose 1 for every 4 that are full. So they lose 1. And then these guys are going to lose 1. Nobody else is at war, I don't think. Okay, Austria. They spent 6. They have 5. They're going to do an event. Roll a die. They're going to try to do their own. Otherwise, they do the leftmost. So this is the deal. Like, see these guys, they had 6, so now they're going to add 2 more. This one adds 2 more, so no more get added. This one had 4, so it goes to 6. This one had 2, goes to 4. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right, so they're choosing disloyal allies. All players with at least 1 alliance must remove 3 cubes from the realm of their strongest NPR ally. If unable, the alliance is terminated. If this was an active ally in a war, the player loses allied units equal to half the power, and then this thing happens, and then the triangle happens. I don't have any triangles, so I'm okay there. Okay, we got to do this in order. Whose turn was it? This was Austria. So let's start with the Ottomans. Do they have any allies? No. France. They did, but they don't now. Castile. Well, I'm here. Morocco. No. Saxony. Yes, they have an alliance with... They don't have an alliance with an NPR. They have an alliance with player realms. The Dutch have 2 alliances, in fact. With at least 1, must remove 3 from the realm of their strongest ally, which would be Sweden. So they're going to lose 3 cubes from Sweden. That hurts them. Quite a bit, in fact. All right, then it gets to us, and we get hurt too. We're going to lose 3 cubes from Scotland, which we needed. And you can see here, discard cubes from the target equal to the target's base tax. So I need 4 cubes on there. And then we have the Mamluks, which I don't think they have an alliance either. And neither does Muscovy. Well, they do. Nope, they have marriages. Same with Poland, just a marriage. Austria is screwing themselves. So they're going to lose 1, 2, 3. Really bizarre. But yeah, that's the event. Now we go to Poland. They spent more than they have, so Poland is also going to do an event. This is their own, which they don't have. So they're taking the leftmost one. And again, with the way the money works, it trickles like this. There's the Moroccan one. Revolts. They gain 1. Choose an area where you have a town without unrest and another area adjacent to it. Add unrest to 2 towns in each area One of these must be your own, and then the circles take a hit. And this is what I was talking about. We're doing the 3 health thing. And this is why it's so important to do the 3 health. Because I'm taking 1, 2 hits so far. And they're going to be dead before the round even, ends with all these cards that are being drawn. And then we're going to be doing unrest stuff here, which is going to get interesting. Because I don't have that many troops. All right, so this is where you can get really crafty. It says choose one of your own areas and an adjacent one, and 2 towns in each area go to unrest. Well, sometimes, it's not the case here. In our previous playthrough, Poland and Lithuania were both bots. So Lithuania would share the same area as Poland. So Poland could choose this area. Yes, they would have to flip 2 of these to unrest, but one of them is Lithuania. And they can choose another Lithuanian area and flip those. So the problem is in this case, they're not next to... They're definitely not next to Muscovy. They can't harm them. They're not even next to... The only person they're next to is here. So they're going to have to choose this area and flip these. And then this area and flip those. So that's the card. All right, now Muscovy. They get to draw 1 more. I'm doing a military. I don't think they have any claims, but assuming that they don't, it would be Moscow and Ryazan. Ooh. They have marriages there. Nope, there's one that they don't. Ryazan. Okay, that's fair. I mean, having the cubes here, they don't really want to do that, but I mean, you could keep going, I guess. Like, they don't want to target somewhere that they have cubes. Because they'll lose cubes if they declare war. Like, if they kept going, this assumes that the whole area... I'm looking at the wrong one. This assumes that the whole area is subjugated. I mean, we could go this way. The owner of Kazan. That makes more sense. That or these 2 make more sense. I mean, theoretically, they could declare the war here. It makes these go away. I'm going to move it over to Kazan. All right, Ottomans. They are at war, but they're down to 2 cubes. Nothing left for them to really do, so they're going to do their event. And yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to get a chance to do my event. So here we go. They rolled a 1, which means they're taking the leftmost one. And everything trickles down again. The last card is this. So I do think I'm going to reveal more cards next time. So that way they have a better chance of taking their own event. Too many cards in the pile. Just with the way passing works in this game, as you can see, like the passing is happening very fast now. And I've been waiting for my turn, and I have to wait for 11 other players to take their turn. My card went from here all the way to here, and it's still not my turn. I still got to wait 1, 2 more. I have 2 more bots to go, and the bots keep taking the leftmost one. Well, guess what? I think the only thing working out in my favor is France already did one, so Castile would be the only one, and they're not going to take one, thank goodness. But like I'm going to actually make some decent money. All right, so this card. First things first is they get to put out pirates, so they choose And actually, the other one would have done the same. So they're choosing whoever has the highest tax base. So the pirate would have actually gone, they're choosing like the French one here. The other one was Saxony. So let's roll for them as well. They also would have chosen the highest tax base. So, well, the Ottomans were high, but they're going to choose Genoa. Those are the two French ones. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's look at the rest of the card. This is everybody loses a ship at sea, which is not good for me. Oh, you jerks. Disband one ship of each opponent that is not adjacent to a friendly port. So I lose this one. Not happy about that at all. It is what it is, though. Lose 1 point. Then select another player to choose. They can lose a stability and gain a cube, or abolish attacks. So, again, to choose another player, they do this, and they choose whoever has the most points, which is me. So I either lose a stability and gain, or abolish attacks and gain 2 more debt. My goodness. This is horrible. I don't want to lose the stability. 2 more of these is terrible. I don't even get the 10 ducats. I just get the debt. Wow. All right. So that just happened. Now it's France's turn, and they're going to pass. They also get 2 cubes. Castile. Doing a military. Right, they've already taken everything there is to take. So this is where it gets interesting. They're at war, yes. They're fine with all this. Army maps on the board. Can they siege? No. Hostile units? No. Can place a ship that would help? No. It's telling them to move to the nearest enemy, but see, there is no enemy anymore. They've conquered them. And I do understand, like, they don't necessarily want to declare war on another person. So I guess they just do nothing. So did action take effect? No. Perform second? No. They're just going to score points. I agree with that. So we're just going to give them 1 point. And they discard one of these. I did forget, like if an NPR had a strength of 3 or more, we were supposed to draw for a general. So my apologies on that one. All right, so now it's to us. And I wanted to do a trade action, especially since we are now in the New World. Because technically, by being in the New World, all these 1s get added to the deck. Anything that has a 1 on it gets added. And then it gets shuffled. And we add that back in too. So I wanted to do a trade. The problem is I lost my my ship. And now I'm massively in debt. I still want to do the trade, but I got to take my card. And by doing so, I'm going to get 2, 4, 6, 8 ducats. So 6 of those ducats pays off one of these debts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, so I at least got that, and then I get to keep 2 more ducats. All right, so that's done. These cards are sliding down like so. They still get their 2s, but it's really is staggered like this. Like this is the most money you're gonna see. Well, actually, technically, this one just got 2 more. Every card that's been taken, though, they get a cube. They get a cube. Saxony would have gotten a cube. They would have gotten a cube. Whoever's done an event. Pink would have gotten a cube. Because there was money on it. So they would get a cube because there's money on it. Poland. Austria. All right. Back to me. I got to do this. I got to add 3 unrest and 3 rebels in Northumbria. This is where me buying those ships was a poor decision. So 1, 2, 3. And 3. Then I have to decide. I can lose a point, a stability, and a point and gain a Diplo cube, or exhaust 2 manpower, or add 1 unrest in Wales and Wessex. I'm not hiring all the manpower anyways, so I'll go ahead and exhaust 2 manpower. And then I gain 1 cube and 2 points, and then I also gain another, and are both military cubes. So the 2 military cubes are very appreciated. And I get to replace my ruler, which I will do. All right. My issue is I need money to recruit these guys so I can beat back the rebels. But that wasn't too bad. I thought this added more rebels to me. I did forget, though, one of these cards, this one had revolts. So we do have to resolve this. And my situation had these, but it did not have these. Because I remember even talking about it. So let's do mine first. Exhaust a manpower, lose a power. So what that means is one of these happens. And I have to pick one of these to lose. I probably would have lost this one. All right, but it's not just me. France has 2. All right, so they're going to lose a cube, but one of them flips back. Poland and Ottomans have 2. And that should be it. And the reason that happened is it was the revolts, which was the Poland one. So here's Poland's 2. All right, so one of Poland's flips back, and then they lose a cube. And then here's the 2 for Ottoman. All right, so the Ottomans have a revolt, which they would have handled differently. But it's done. And they would have lost a cube. Okay, so yeah. we did our thing. We actually took our event, which means we do move. We move forward. All right. They have passed. These guys are passing. So they're going to get 1 cube. Denmark still has 0 spent cubes. They're now doing 2 military. I don't think they have any claims, so let's check. A 6 would be Estonia and Livonia. I'm going to assume that they're putting out a claim. And it's just in the area, so they'll decide later. Yeah, they had no claims. The Mamluks have, they are at war. I forgot about that. They are going to spend 1 cube. To put this out here. And they should have done that last turn. That was my bad. Austria has 6 and 6, so they're going to continue. They're going to do a diplomacy, which I think that helps them because the whole Bavaria thing with the alliance, they don't have any cubes though, so they're going to put 2 cubes out. Let's see what else they would do. It would have been this situation. The answer is yes. The answer is no. Free space. They added 2 cubes. Is alliance possible? And now they're going to roll for marriage. Marriage. They rolled a 4. So yes, they just got a royal marriage with Bavaria. Done. Or are they done? They're done. Poland can do another action. They're going to do diplomacy. They should have. They have a marriage. That's all they have. So one thing about the game, because the bots annex their vassals, this cube is actually gone because there's no foreign entity in that area when they started the game. So you are supposed to pull those back. Okay, so they have a marriage, and maybe some cubes. So they don't have less than 2 cubes. That's an alliance. They have this. Is an alliance possible? Yes, they're going to place an alliance on the capital and add 1. Where is Lithuania's capital? Why am I drawing a blank here? Oh, there it is. Vilnius. All right, and then they add another cube. Muscovy. They are going to start passing. Roll their die. They want to do their own. They can't. They're not at war. If they were at war, they would pick someone else's. So they pick unhappy peasants. which does cause these two to flush. So now it's back to the usual chain. You and another player of your choice must choose. And so I'm just going to roll this die for them. So 4, 5, and 6 is highest tax base, so they're choosing France. And they always choose the first one. They're going to gain 1 point. So Muscovy gains a point, and France is going to gain a point. And they gain a cube, but they lose a stability, which is lose a cube. So, and then it shows that there's another naval attrition, which thankfully this is near a port. So no more ships lost for anybody. I mean, like, everybody loses ships, but everybody has ships near their ports. I was the only one that did not. Okay, so that was relatively painless for us. And like I said, they always pick the first one. They gain a cube and lose a cube. So really, they just gain a point, which for them is a good deal. All right, so that was Muscovy. So now we go to the Ottomans, who would pass. Nope, the Ottomans have this, so they would spend their cube to go in. They're going to roll for war. They do take a hit, but they get the cube back. So they would spend a cube and get a cube. That's how that would work. And then they'll siege that down. France has more cubes. So they keep going. No, France passed. France passed. They're doing nothing. Spain. They're at 5 and 5. So they're going to draw another card. They are at war, so they're going to spy. They're not at war with a player realm. So they're going to roll a die. They're choosing me. Oh my goodness, they're going to flip 2. I'm in trouble. Because I'm still winning the points. Yep. Okay, then it gets to me. Well, actually, no. It said they would do the military action. We went through this before. They're at war with an NPR, so they would choose the military action, which the military action does nothing, so they're just going to score 2 points. Because that's how much the action cost. I mean, that's good news for me, but so now I got lots of unrest. This requires 2 infantry's worth of strength to manage. But what I'm going to do is I want to do a trade action. I need to get some money because I need to recruit people. Now, I know I'm in debt and I've been using my money to get out of debt, but I got to do a trade. So let's do 1, 2, and 3. This is useless. The North Sea, I have my person here and not there. Oh, I get to move him. So I could move him to the North Sea, which I have 1 trade power. So let's see. North Sea would be 3 ducats. This one, I don't have any of those. That would also be 3 ducats. That's useless. So I can gain 3 ducats, but then give, or I could just do none of them and gain 2 ducats. I would do none of them and gain 2 ducats, because that way I can still use my merchant later. And I have 6 ducats, so yeah, this is not a... We're struggling right now. Okay, passed. Persia, if they haven't passed, they will. Nope, they've passed. Diplomacy. All right. This used to be really simple. So they're going to choose the marriage and alliance, where they have that's the highest tax base, which is Sweden. But actually, they're not. They're gonna choose Norway, and because it's smaller in here. Once we they have this for both. Has higher tax base than NPR. They're at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sweden is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Norway is at 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is yes to both. Has cubes greater than the tax base. So this is where it gets interesting. They have 4 cubes, and this is 4. So then they're going to annex Norway. They lost the cubes in Sweden, but not Norway. So they are going to annex Norway. They make it look so easy. If you play them in your game, it's not that easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That does help them get stronger, though. And just like that, it is done. Oh, and because they annexed, they gained 3 points. 1, 2, 3. The Mamluks are going to pass. So they're the second to pass, so they're going to get a cube. Austria going to pass. I think only the first 2 get cubes. So yeah, they don't get a cube. Poland going to pass. And then Muscovy going to pass. We're getting down to only 1 action left. Ottomans are going to siege. France still has more cubes. Oh, they passed. Castile is passing. That means they're going to do an event. They rolled a 3, so they're taking this one. The Moroccan Revolution. They're choosing B. Morocco rejects Mohammed I, gains 2 unrest, and loses 2 stability and 1 advisor. You gain 1. So Morocco loses 2 stability. That means they lose 2 cubes. And they don't care about the leader anyways. So yeah, that's it. Now it's back to us. We're going to get at least 1 more turn after this one. So I am going to spend to recruit military so I can beat the rebels back. I have unrest everywhere. That is a problem. But I got to at least defeat the rebels that are on the map. Because if I don't do that, I'm in big trouble. That's going to cost me 6 ducats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's everything I have. I don't have all my manpower deployed, so I don't quite get the credit. Passed. Can still go. They're going to focus expansion. They are looking into passing, which means they're going to do an event. Five means their own, so they're going to choose the left one. Add unrest to 2 towns in Saxony. Saxony loses a cube and must add 2 rebels in Saxony. Gains a claim in Bohemia. So they lost a cube. 2 rebels. And they get a claim in Bohemia. That's brutal. Then who did that? It was Denmark, so they get a cube. Pink, have they passed? Yes. Poland, passed. Muscovy, passed. Ottomans are passing. So there's the 4th one. We need... Oh, that just triggered end of round. So everybody's got one more action left. And Orange is going to have to do the event. So looking at what's left here, Castile's next, then me, then Orange, and then Brown, and this is it. This final turn. So Castile's, their final turn is their passing. So for me, I'm going to spend a cube, and I have to move my military to crush the rebels. Otherwise, these 3 will take all my towns. And so this is going to trigger a battle. It's 3 rebels, and I don't think they draw for generals. Let's check. So it's a human versus NPR. They do draw for a general. And roll 3 infantry dice plus leader battle. So they're going to draw, and they get nothing. So they're drawing 3. Whoops. They hit 1. My leader is joining me, so I'm going to roll 6. So I do have a cavalry, so I do 2 hits on him, which is crazy. I still didn't kill him. And yeah, I'm going to keep fighting. So they're going to roll 3 more. They get 2 hits, but they only hit once, because there's only 1 of them left. And now I hit him. I thought I had a cavalry. Oh, no, I don't. So they killed 2 of my guys, but I finish them off this time, because I've only done 1 hit last time, so they would have killed 2 this time. So yeah, that was brutal. I lost all 3 guys that I recruited. But anyways, I do win. It does give me a cube for doing so. I'm not going to get to take care of the rebels, though. So, bit of a problem. And next we go to Morocco, who's going to roll for an event. 6, which becomes a 1. So they are going to do growth of cities, which this is a good one. So all the squares take damage. So I get a damage here. We're not doing any DNPR nonsense, but this is bad for me. But here we go. Attract serfs. They can pay 3 ducats to develop a small into a large in your capital area and gain 2 cubes. Okay. Then all opponents can then pay 2 to choose between A and B, and of course the bots are all going to choose A. So this is Morocco. So they are going to gain 2 cubes, but they have to pay ducats, which for them it gets rounded up, so they're paying a cube, which it's not lose, so they're spending. And they get to put a large in their capital area, which we always choose their capital. All right, now everybody else gets to do this, and we're going to do this in player order. And just understand that the bots are going to always choose this, but they have to spend 2 cubes to be able to do this. So if they can't pay the 2 cubes, they're not going to do anything. And technically it's a 3rd cube, because they got to pay the money as well. But we start with the Ottomans, who don't have 3 cubes. France definitely has 3 cubes, and they will do that. But it's their capital area, so hold on. Their capital area is already capped out. So then they could choose the second option. Pay 2 and gain an unrest to research serfdom idea. They're just not doing anything because they always choose option A. I think we get that here. Pick option A when not the active player. Pick the first option and all sub-options. Done. If an event or option has no applicable effects, gain 1 cube and resolve secondary. But see, that's only if it's their event. But it does say option. So you could argue that since it doesn't have any effects on them, they just gain a cube. That's fair. So here we're going to spend 1, 2, 3, but they do get 2 back because it's a goofy thing where they get 2 cubes for doing it. And this comes out into their capital region. So there we go. It upgraded their port. Now it comes to us, and we are for sure going to pay the 2. And what's crazy is we have to go into debt again. For 5 ducats, and I'll take the 2 money. I'm doing it because it lets me put out a large in my capital area. And I'm going to choose the area that's not under rebels at the moment. That'll give me some extra money to help me get out of my debt. And then I get my 2 cubes back. All right, these guys. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And they are for sure going to do it. And they'll do it on the area that doesn't have rebels. That's a big upgrade for Saxony. 1, 2, 3. Persia. We'll do their capital. We already did him. I don't know if they can. Their capital area is very specific. It's just got 1. Yeah, they can't do it. So we're just going to give them a cube like we did for France. The Mamluks, I'm pretty sure, can do it. Their capital, yeah, is this one. So we'll just upgrade one of these Egyptian ones. Austria, for sure. Oh boy, they almost couldn't. But they for sure want to do it. That's a big upgrade for them. We'll get the gold mine up. Poland can't afford it. And neither can Muscovy. Boy, both of them would have benefited big time from that. It's a great card. But now I have to pay the consequences. So this card's not going to be used. We have to do rebels. And starting with me, it's brutal. I got 3 rebels here. I need to roll 4. Oh, I killed this guy. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. So I lose a manpower. I lose 2 ducats. And I gain a rebellion. So the manpower is horrible. It's this. The rebellion, they're rolling 1. They missed. I'm going to get to roll. Oh, I'm sorry. They roll 2 more. All right, so they killed me. I get to roll because I have my leader. All right, so I killed theirs, but they wiped my army out. Everything is in my exhausted manpower pool. And I'm not done. But we did quell the rebellion. I have 2 more I need to roll. Come on, give me the good dice. There we go. That's a good die. So I'm flipping this one back. And then I haven't forgotten, I owed 2 ducats from before, and now I owe 2 more. And I would go into bankruptcy. Ay, ay, ay. Where is bankruptcy? Maybe it's my 6th one? Maybe I get to do 5? If you have 5 or more in their treasury and cannot pay a mandatory cost, such as interest on loans, rebel dice, etc., the realm immediately goes bankrupt. It's not mandatory. A player who has 5 or more in their treasury is not allowed to take another loan. I have 4, so I can take 1 more. And we're going to be rolling rebel dice again, so I'm not out of the woods here, folks. All right, so I do get 3 ducats, so I can afford at least 1 more roll. Oh boy, we're cutting it close. I mean, just so you can see, I mean, going bankrupt is not cool. You lose 3 stability, 5 points. You discard 3 from your treasury. You disband all mercenaries, fire all advisors, lose half of your cubes of each type. I mean, it's horrible. Okay, France has 1 rebel die. They lose a cube. Anybody else? Saxony has 2. They just lose a cube. Pots only ever lose 1 cube. Doesn't matter how many dice they roll. Poland has 1. Ottomans have 1. Poland. Ottomans. All right, the Ottomans flip theirs back. 1 of them. Actually, Ottomans have 2. They lose a cube, but they don't have one to lose. The Polish, though, they get a revolt. And then this happens. Okay, so all that was Morocco. And we said that, okay, yeah, Denmark gets one more action. And we look at their situation. They're actually going to draw a card. And yeah, they're going to do an idea. And they're going to roll 4 and then 6. Here's 4 and then 6. They're going up for Quest for a New World. So they score 2 points for that, but I get 1. And Austria gets 1. Now, technically, per the rules, there's no more points to be scored. But that's for a 6 or 7 player game. We're doing 12. I think, the basic thing that works is to double anything. Okay, so we are wrapped up for the round. Let's try to do the in-between round stuff and then wrap up this video. So if I open up this, the first thing we have here is to remove truces. There aren't any. We're going to do NPR invasions. I don't think we have those either. This NPR is fully conquered. So is this one. Yeah, there's no NPR invasions. Rebel siege remove. This is why it was very important for me to not have any rebels on the board. This one already sieged. So it would move to here because there is unrest there. But actually, it's only if there's more than one. So that rebel just stays. This one. These two would siege. So we would have that situation. I don't think there's any other ones on the board. Peace resolution. This is fully conquered. And there's nobody to even have a truce with anymore. And so that comes off. And then if they're willing to remove a claim, which they are, it flips to unrest. All right, so that was a very clean takeover. Same story here. These two come off. I mean, there's no reason to keep a claim here anymore, but anyways, they already have all the unrest settled. So I think the claim just comes off. Nobody else is at war, so that's all resolved. Prestige penalties. Poland is going to lose a point. I'm going to put it off to the side here. It's a little easier. And then poor Saxony is going to lose 2 points. So they're getting extra negative. And that's it with that. There's no interregnum. Religious dissent does happen. And we have diverse faiths, so that one flips. They always get one here, so they're going to have a flip here. Poland has a flip. Persia has a flip. I think everybody up here is okay. Okay. Yeah, the rest of us are okay. So then this is based on your stability, which we don't have any, and neither do, well, actually, England and Austria, I'm sorry, Austria and Denmark both have a diplomatic idea. So that doesn't help them. If they had one of these, then that would have helped them. So Austria technically has one as well. Like so. All right, and then the last part, and this is the part we have to pray. We have to roll rebel dice, and I can't go in further debt. So this is where it gets dangerous for us. So Persia rolls 1. They have a revolution. I think they get a rebel die. I know they get the siege. See page 3 for applying rebellions and removing rebels. So it just says rebellion. All right, so now we got to go here. The rebellion would be... Oh, it's way up at the top. There's the roll rebel dice. Page 37. I knew it was down here. Dang it. So if you have military units, you just lose 1. If you have no units to remove, you must assign each result to one of your towns with unrest. Will siege the province. You must place a rebel town on top of yours. Yeah, there's no actual rebel that appears. They just siege. Now, the brutal part is, if that is not a core, it is a core. But if it wasn't, then it would get liberated. And then, okay, these guys are going to roll 2. So there you can see they would lose a cube, and then there's going to be a rebellion. But all that means is they just lose a troop because they have troops there. Poland is going to roll 1. They would lose a cube. Saxony doesn't have to roll anymore because they're sieged. I know I have to roll. I'm sort of avoiding it at the moment. There's go Castile. They have troops there, so they lose 1. France. They lose. So it says exhaust manpower, but they lose a cube. Okay, last but not least is us. And we have to roll per area. So let's roll for the one area I'm not in. Well, I'm not in any of them, but let's roll for this one. Come on. Good dice. Good dice. Exhaust the manpower. There's nothing left to exhaust, so nothing happens. Now I have 3, and I need to survive. I need to survive. Come on. I lose 4 ducats, and then I remove an unrest. The 4 ducats is what's going to kill me, because I only have 3. That's going to trigger bankruptcy. Ah, come on. I'm not happy about that. I'm going to retcon. I'm sorry. I don't want to do bankruptcy. So I'm going to re-roll all 3 dice and just live with what happens. Well, that's a better outcome. At least money-wise. So 2 of these happened, and then they took a town. So I'll have to take that town back, but I at least survive without going bankrupt. I'm sorry. You're right. I per the rules, it happened. I just don't want to do it. So it's my game. I'm keeping it going. It's bad enough I got five loans. And you know what? I would have been just fine if it wasn't for that one event that gave me 2 of these. Anyways, we are through all of that. So now we got to do income and upkeep for everybody. So I like to do the bots first, and the first thing we're going to do is the HRE Emperor. So he rolled a 1. So that's not good for him. He actually drops to a 2. He still gets an extra cube, for having this. But his manpower is reduced by 1. Because he only gets a bonus of 2 manpower instead of 3. So right now his manpower is 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he only gets to add 2 more, so this manpower disappears. All right, and we'll do the rest later. Well, actually, let's do the rest now. So this goes back in. One of those goes back in. And there we go. He shuffles, and he's ready to go. These go in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. Austria is ready. The other one is the Papal Controller, which is Saxony. They're going to gain 1 extra cube. None of the other stuff really applies to him. And so he'll get 1 extra cube for that. We'll deal with him later. So yeah, let's start with the Ottomans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Done. They have 10 manpower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they get 2 more. And two of them go back in. They're ready to go. France. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's their cubes. They have 10 manpower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They add 2 more. Good to go. Castile. 8 manpower. That's 4, 5, 6. They add 2 more. Two cards went back in. Skipping me for now. Coming to Saxony. Two of their towns are under siege, so they only have 1 manpower. They're in big trouble. Um, five manpower. I get one more. That's 5, 7. They have 4 manpower, so they get one more. Ideas always go back. Six manpower. They get one more. That's exactly 7. There you go. To go in. 9 manpower. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more is added. Done. We did Austria. They have 1 town under siege, so they get 5. They still get 6, so their manpower did not change because the manpower stays the same. Two of them go back. Whoops. Seven manpower stays the same. That's 6 cubes. There's the 7th. All right, that's all the bots. I mean, it took some time, but it's not that painful. It's pretty straightforward. Now for me, I got to do my income, and I'm well aware I had to cheat a little bit to get past that rebel stage, but we're going to move forward. First things first is I do get 11 plus 6, I get 17 income. Then this is 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. If I want to keep my advisors. Right now I do. It's 12. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. I lose 5 more because of this, so I'm down to 7. This is 6, 5, 4. So I get 4 ducats if I keep all my advisors. I have to keep them, folks. Otherwise, I hurt myself in other ways. So I get 4 ducats, and then I can spend 2 to get rid of one of these. I can't. I gotta recruit troops. So I'm taking 5 plus 1 more because I got 4. I spent 2. So the 5 debt really hurt because that cost me 5. And I'm also realizing I got to pay for cards. So I'm in massive trouble. But I still think I can get out of it. I can do some trade actions. But it's going to be a challenge here. Now the other upkeep is I do get to grab some cubes. So I get 1, 2, and then 2 more from my advisor. And then here I'm going to get 1, 2, 3 for my advisor. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 military. So still on the verge of running out of money, but there you have it. Income, upkeep. The papal controller is going to score 3 points, and that is Denmark here. Or, I'm sorry, Saxony. So 1, 2, and then +1 for 3. I'm going to move the Ottomans out. These are both negatives. So these two are at 1 point. And pink has yet to score. Oh, here was another war. So these, he's going to get rid of the claim to get rid of that. And pink's army goes back. Always forget about those distant wars there. Other upkeep stuff would be, we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to move all this money out because none of the money is technically on any of those cards. And then I have to make a decision, right? So I'm going to do 7, 8, and 9. And then 10, 11, 12, 13. So everything's out. Like, look at this. The stuff for the Mamluks, the Spanish one, they're all available. Now I do have to adjust. 2 coins, 2 coins, 2 coins, and then 1 for everything else. So anything else that's not chosen is only going to get 1 coin, because we can't have them accumulating massive amounts of coins just because they're all the way down here. And in fact, I'm going to make another adjustment. 2 coins, 2 coins, 2 coins, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. So these 3 don't earn any coins at all. They're just there to basically encourage the bots to get their own events, and for me to get mine. Because like if mine was buried at the bottom of a, this would have been 7 cards. You got to wait for 7 people to pass just to see if your card comes up. That's not always viable. So I think this is going to be a better way, and the I just got to be more diligent about the money part. But yeah, we got a whole bunch of events for the other people, which is good, because all the death for me and things like that, I need that to go away. So we get to pick an event, and like I might want Bountiful Harvest. I gain 1 and a number of ducats equal to the amount of ducats placed on this card. That's going to be hard, but I would get double ducats. Or draw a number of action cards equal to the number of ducats on this card +1 and reveal them for all to see, and then I get to pick one. So that would be pretty cool as well. But anyways, we will worry about drawing the cards and all that stuff. I also get to pick a mission right now, so I would pick Settle in America. The Maritime Empire. I need a 3rd heavy ship. I need light ships adjacent to 5 trade nodes. Like, this is not a bad one, but I think I can wait. So yeah, this is the one I choose. This is the one I did, so I'm going to move that off to the side. Oh, one more thing. I gain a colonist because of this. Just 1. All right, so that's the end of the round. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.